Hello everybody. Hello from Oi. She dog. Hello from me. So I thought I'd just give a bit of a tour of what I'm doing at the house. I've been on the farm today. I got my first potatoes. I'm very grateful for, because I've got no money. No, not even access to money. Not even any jobs to do for people locally. There's nothing. For the last week, I've got another 2 weeks of it. So I'm officially self-sustaining. Therefore, I've had to give up tobacco, which is hard. Obviously, I can't buy any beer, but I'm all right. I don't really need it. I've got loads of strawberry cordial that I made last year, and it's not actually much of a problem. The smoking is not as hard as I thought it would be, but I'm a bit of an arsehole at the best of time, and I've just kept myself out of people's way, basically. But it's going all right. We've done a week so far. So the broccoli is bolted, but I shall chop all that up, parboil it, freeze it. It'll be good. The rocket's gone leg, so I shall be taking off all of these leaves, and then I shall be donating them to the cafe in Angermeer tonight, because they're busiest on a Sunday. So I'm thinking, well, let's do a trial run with this rocket. It's basically waste for me anyway. And then all of these wonderful crates. This is sapinière, or soapwork, that I'm drying out. I thought it was related to penstemon, but it's actually not. It's actually related to magnolia, believe it or not. I guess most plants are. So I'm doing a bit of a test, drying off the leaves to the flowers, and then I've got stems over there, and then just chopped it up there. So we'll see. I mean, I do have washing liquid, but why am I paying for it if I have an abundance of this? They call it jumping jack as well. If I have an abundance of this, and it does clean. It doesn't smell bad, but anyway, it works. So those are the stems with root. So we'll get them going. I've started to fill up the wood store. That's 2 deep, 3 deep. No, 2 deep. That'll get up to 6 deep. So the community gardener, he trimmed up by the park there first time, and it was full of buttercup. So this is the second trimming, and there's no buttercup. It's just buttercup and plantain. Sorry, it's not buttercup. It's plantain and grass. That's all there is. I've seen nothing else in there. So I'm drying that off. That's just one bin, but one ton bag. And then I've got my trusty fosh. I found this bit of wood, and I'm going to plant a tree in it. It just seems ironic, but fun. So yeah, that's getting turned. That's what they call foin with the accent, or foin if you're from Paris, or hay if you're from England. And I've been trialing it with the rabbits, and they do eat it. They don't like it, but they do eat it. So I'm drying it off, and we'll make a store, probably in my balcony up there, mouse-proof. We'll probably use some of these pallets or something. Anyway, so we're going through the seeding. I got my coriander, sown it off. I've got 2. I've got one on the farm and then one lot here. And then this is all 3 of these are frizzy parsley. That's the last of the chives. And then I've got my 2 types of basil. And then I've got that's the cress. That's watercress. No, that's bitter watercress. And then I've got this cress here, which is a lemon flavoured cress, which I'm really looking forward to trying out. And then I think there's some more basil in them too. But the cress, I'm thinking, well, I'm soon to be getting a lot of eggs. I'm probably going to be making a lot of mayonnaise, egg and cress salad sandwich. Brilliant. Maybe it'll be useful for the pizzeria as well. They do eat a lot of cress in their baguettes. So as I'm weeding through for the potatoes that I got there, I'm pulling out all the stuff that is good for the rabbits. So again, I've got oi ça va? Et c'est qui ça? Eh? Ah, c'est toujours le même chien. Oi, assis, ça va. Restez là, couché. Hey, allez, ta place, très bien. So I'm going through here, and I'm making sure there's no Ipamere in there, or solanum or dock or anything like that. It's poisonous. Except obviously I missed the odd bit, but that's not the end of the world. So I've just pulled it out of the ground today. That's just plantain again. Plantain or plantain and gazon or du vert. So I'll turn that, and then what we got here, this is all épinard, right? Spinach. So my plan is we can cut one for the Sunday, because Sunday's our busiest day. One or half of one for the week, and then another one will be ready for the following Sunday, is what I'm thinking, for the fresh, almost micro leaf spinach. And I totally forgot what I put in there. Doesn't matter. But again, it's going to be another herb for... Oh no, so it's rocket. I've sown rocket. I know I've got rocket over there, like I said. But this will be like the cut, so I can cut it. So I can cut all of that rocket. In fact, that one is the wild rocket, and these are the cultivated. So these have got a larger leaf, and those have got a very fine, stronger taste. So I shall mix the two. But I can just do one cut, give that to him. There you go, get through that. The next week, do that. And if I need more, I'll just go get more. I can always get more. Done a good weeding through here. And now I've officially clamped the first compost bin, because it is beautiful. Look at this muck that's coming out of it. Let on, bring it. I mean, that is just, can you see? Fine worm poo. And in the polytunnel, this is the little polytunnel, I call it the shady tunnel. These are my beans that I'm pretty much living off. We've got your pastèques there, which is your watermelon. Avocados are still doing well. Then I've got pastèque all the way along, and a few other bits and bobs. But they're going to take up so much space that I haven't bothered to spray, to sow anything else. These will all come out. These are my beans. This is, can you see, haricots nains sans fil. So they haven't got a string in them. They're really tasty. And then, yeah, so I've got plenty of tomatoes on the go. And I'm doing what I'm calling the Liz Truss method. So I'm trussing them out. When they get too high and they start touching the plastic, that's where you'll start getting maybe a mildew. So I'll let it truss out, and I'll get that fruit. Like perfect example is that. Look, can you see? So I've got the fruit but not the stem. And then I'll just keep working it up and down, up and down, up and down. So each new branch, I'll get some tomatoes off, and then once they're done, I'll chop it back, and then, as you can see, they regrow prolifically. So kudos to Envers de Terre. They've got some good seed stock there. Second compost bin doing really well. Cut down the fig because I've got to kill it. It's growing in amongst all my gas piping and stuff. So anyway, so I obviously took care from the sap, because you don't want that in your eyes. I've got some lovely mint down there, along with the flowering nasturtium, which they call capucine. But it is nasturtium. My pot shed looking good and organised. Not doing, see, I've got plenty of pots. Little bit of straw to cover stuff if we need it. And then we got this one. So I've had to pull these down. This is what I mean. I've pulled them down to retruss them. I haven't quite worked out how I'm going to describe it properly. But you see, all of this was doing nothing. All this up that was just touching there and just doing nothing. So I brought it right back down to the first fruit, which is there. And then he's made what they call in French a gourmand. And this one's doing the same, but right at the bottom there. So it is all going to be very late season, which, given the fact that we've lost 3 months due to rain, and now it's, you know, pretty hot, I suspect that's good. These are melons. They are loving it. I've got a couple of butternuts here. Most of them are on the farm. Oh, I've got to talk to you about these. Now, you're going to think that's a hosta, but it's not. It's curcuma. It's turmeric. And turmeric is growing really well. If I can show you, sorry. That's your turmeric. It's basically very similar to ginger, but that's my turmeric, so I'll be alright for that. And I've got freaking tons of it. It's pretty aggressive actually, so that I'm glad that's in its own box. And I had a weed through here, and I realised that there wasn't actually much going on apart from them capsicum, and I'm not too worried about capucin, sorry, the nasturtiums. I'm not too worried. But then I realised I've got a couple of gingers sort of dotted about. There's one. There's another. This is my celery from a year ago. Tastes great. It's fine. I've got amaranthus all over the place. Tête d'éléphant. And then that's just some bloody great pumpkin thing I forgot about. I've left some celery go to seed because it's not F1. I checked, which is why I cut the broccolis down, because they are F1, which means they're not going to do nothing. This is the amaranthus. You can see tête d'éléphant. So I need as much of that as possible for next year, because next year is going to be hot. It's going to be as hot as Satan's porn collection. And that will grow, which means I can definitely give something to the chickens and rabbits. I've got a couple. That's a cucumber market more. That's a gherkin. Going all the way up there. I've got a few of them about now. And then I just sort of sprinkle salad seeds wherever I'm going. But here again, this is where I planted all of my garlics. They were a bit covered earlier. Ginger. I've got loads of ginger at the back there, if you can see, if it focuses. My phone is rubbish. And then I just got bits coming up, and I rather like that. There you go. Let's have a look at this little monkey. He's a bit big for a gherkin, but that'll go in a salad. Prickly gherkin. They're not burpees delicious, sadly. But... And then this stuff, I forget the name of it. But when you break the leaf, it has a yellow sap. And I've been using that for the last 7 years to kill the fungus on my toes. When I first came to France, my toes were black because I was doing a lot of drugs. I was horrific, actually. I've been clean for 7 years, but my nails suffered. I think it was because I was squatting in a house, and I never took my socks off, and I was working. Anyway, but I've used that. It's cleaned it up. It's done. So antifungal. So again, in here I'm not going to do too much because I've got these beautiful melons going everywhere. These are my first cherry tomatoes. I had one today. They want a bit more sun, but you can see again, trust. They've trusted out, and then you'll get these gourmands, and then they'll replenish. That is a beautiful cascade. Oh, there's two. That's fine. But I've seen everyone else's tomatoes, and they are nowhere near as good as mine. So I'm quite happy with. Look at these. Look at that. These are cœur de bœuf. Freaking enormous. So we're doing something right. And then I've got these hanging baskets here, which want water. And I thought, well, I'm running out of space, but I need some climbing beans. And I've got some climbing beans. They're called Triomphe de Farcy. Triomphe de Farcy. Triomphe de Farcy. And I'm thinking, well, if they grow up, they'll probably grow down, won't they? So I'm going to try. I've got just a handful of seeds in there just to see how they do. And then on the others, last little pointer before I have to. I've got a rabbit on the cook, so I want to get back to that. And then he's finding it a bit warm. Tomorrow's going to be about 29 degrees, but we'll be all right. So then I've just got my last, I've got these pots. Now normally I've got like viola, pansies in there, and spring chives, and just sort of springy stuff. And then they're just looking bare. I thought, well, let's get some beans in there. I've also got some, what are they freaking called? I want to marigolds in there. And then I just put some more beans in there. So these beans will I'll use all of this old wood that I store for winter. I'll just grow it. I'll grow the beans up them, and then I'll have a pot, and I'll put some strings up there, and I'll grow them up the wall there. I'll grow them up the wall there. I'll grow them on the fence. I'll grow them just under the solar panels. I'll grow them over there for now. And if I haven't got that space, I'll grow them. I'll grow them in hanging baskets. So yeah, Have we got any hotter? No, sir. Seems about right. But anyway, I don't know. It's all gone blurry. So there we go. That's the garden. That's my home garden. I think we're doing all right. Hope you're all right. Catch you soon.